Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today we have in front of us the Troy micro folding battle sights. These are Troy's new micro, I guess you would say smaller iron sights. Um, the ones we have in front of us are the night sight version. They actually have the tritium in the rear and tritium in the front. So the rear has two tritium dots on your left and right, as you can see right here, with a white line that goes up the middle. Now that white line does not glow. This also has the rear sight. You can also fold these down if you're shooting longer distances. This says right here 300 to 600 meters, and then your regular sights 0 to 200 meters. Here's your rear sight. Now these do sit a little lower than the standard height sights. I bought these originally because I wanted a lower cheek weld. However, I find that my rifle really can't hold it, or my zeros sideways with these, and I'll go into that a little bit later on why that is. Well, the cost for these are $280 retail, but you can get them on eBay for about $240. I've seen them used go for about $180. So if you're trying to co-witness these with like a Dr. Optic or something like that, I'll show you later on. It's kind of, you're gonna have, it's not, they're low but not that low. You're not gonna be able to put Dr. Op on there and co-witness, and I'll show you that in a later video, or part 2 of this. Now the rear sight, the front sight, this is kind of the reason, if you have a Troy product and you have the regular folding sights, you kind of know how you can spin the front sight post independent from actually moving it, your sight up and down. Now these ones don't have that. This one, you can't, when you spin this down, your zero might be sideways. It might be on the left. Your tritium front sight post may be on the left. It may be on the right. I mean, I don't know what your rifle is. I know mine's came up where mine was on the left, and I called Troy and asked them, am I doing something wrong? Is there's something else I can do? And they said, no, these aren't like our regular sights. These ones don't spin independent. So that's kind of the reason I'm getting rid of these ones right now. I just sold them, so I kind of wanted to do a review before I got rid of them. They're really nice sights, guys. I mean, these things are some really nice sights. I like them, but I just can't get a zero with mine just because the way it is. And not just that, I mean, these things are made for the HK 416s and the SCARs and things with a higher rail. So when you want to run this with a regular AR-15, the problem you come into play is this front sight post right here. You're going to have to bottom this thing out. You're going to have to bottom it completely out because you're not running, your rail's not as high as SCAR is. So I find that I have to completely bottom this thing out. It doesn't have much adjustment either. You have only, I could turn this thing 2 complete revolutions before it's bottom out. You can't go anymore. I mean, that's it. That's when it's flush. So I would not recommend these to somebody who's running the standard height AR-15 unless you want to use them for really close quarters and stuff, and then it works kind of. But if you're going to go out there in distances and try to hit with it, man, these are not precision sights. I mean, if you're a lucky one and you can actually run this and your zero's right in the middle of that dot, I mean, these would be awesome. But do you really want to spend the money to find out that, hey, my zero's completely backwards, you know, my tritium's facing the front or facing the left or facing the right, you know? So, or maybe the front sight post doesn't drop quite low enough so you can't even get a zero on there, you know? You're gonna have to just kind of offset it. But no, I mean, these are nice sights, guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and mount these on this rifle now so I can so you guys can actually see the height of them. and take a look at it on the rifle and see what it looks like. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. As you can see, I got them on now. I wanted to go over the heights with you just so you could know how low these are compared to the other Troy sights. Now, let me go ahead and show you this right now. As you can see, if you're running a fast fire or a Dr. Optic, something like that, these will not co-witness. They look like they might, but guess what? They're not, guys. The problem you're going to have is you're going to have to raise this fast fire Doc Op, whatever you have. You're going to have to raise it up just a little bit, depending on what kind of mount you have on there. I find that when I'm looking through my rear sight, that front sight post is flush with the top of my red dot optic. So I've actually used it where I could just shoot and put the top of this optic in the middle of the rear sight and hit targets. You really can't see that good like that, but it's something that it was just a backup. You know, it's the way I shot it as backup until I got my ACOG in. Now, if you look at these front sight right here, and as you can see, these excess sights, they're a lot smaller as far as low profile. I mean, when you flip these Troy sights down, they are lower. Well, actually, no, they're not lower. They're just, let me try to show you. There goes a side view right there. They're still a little bit bulkier, you know? And once you pop those things up, I mean, yeah, they're bulky. I mean, not as bulky as your regular iron sights, but as far as the micros go, these excess sights are a little bit smaller. I don't have any Knights Armament micros to compare these to. I wish I did. Too much money. I just don't have the cash right now. But these sights are awesome. I mean, if you have a system that can run these sights and you can actually hold a zero and get your zero in, I mean, these are some good sights. I really like the sight picture it gives you. I really like the front and sight tritium. The front tritium is a lot brighter than the rears, so you can pull up that front sight post a lot faster than you normally would a regular front sight post in the dark. What else can I say about the sights? I mean, alright, we'll get into cost. I think I already talked about cost. I'm selling these ones. I already sold them for about $180. Would I recommend these to somebody? If you're running a standard height M16 AR-15, I would not recommend these to you. I would say if you're running a SCAR, an ACR, or something that just has a little bit higher rail, awesome sights. Jump all over them. Hopefully your zero is going to be with that tritium facing you, because it might not be. I mean, that's just something you have to, just a risk you have to take, you know. I mean, I wish Troy would actually did a little research. I mean, they got these retailing for around $300. $280 is what they retail for at the Troy store. So, I mean, come on now. If you're going to pay $280, I would think that the sights should be able to actually work no matter what rifle. And the problem is that Troy advertises these sights as being able to work with your regular M16. They advertise the sights and they say on the sights specifically these are for people who want a lower cheek weld. So I mean, that for me, that's one of the main reasons I bought the sights, because I did want that lower cheek weld. And that's the main reason, like I said, I bought them. And then when I bought them, I found out my zero was on the opposite side, and I said, oh man, I just got to get rid of these things. And so I did. I sold them, and now I'm moving on to these excess sights. And I got to tell you, I really like them, guys. I've heard other people saying they can't get a proper cheek weld on them, but for me, I mean, I'm a smaller guy. I'm not a giant here. I can sink my face in on that butt stocking, and I could pick up that front sight post really, really fast. Faster than I could pick up the Troy front sight post, that's for sure. So I do like these excess sights, and if you're running any kind of magnified optic, I would say go ahead and try them out, man, 'cause I think you might like them also. And even if you're running just a dot sight, I mean, you can run those off to the side. I've heard of people doing that, but I'd probably just go with a co-witness instead if I was running a dot. But that's it, guys. I mean, if you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section. I just wanted to get this YouTube video out because, man, I just didn't want anyone else to end up buying these sites, spending $300 and finding out, hey, guess what, these sites aren't for me. Let me go ahead and sell these sites now and take a loss on them. But kind of what I did, but you live, you learn, and finally you get what you want. So I'm extremely happy, like I said, with these excess sites in this ACOG, this setup running how it's running right now. I do plan on changing out that ACOG mount, probably going with LaRue. I want to get that a little bit lower. ACOG still feels like it runs a little high for me. I just like my cheek sunk in on that buttstock, you know. Some people don't, but it's just the way I shoot. Yeah, so any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Take care, guys. Later, YouTube.